There is a book that is over 1,000 years old. The book speaks of a people with a deep understanding of the stars, of medicine, of agriculture. These people had their own written word, their own gods, their own culture. This is the Dresden Codex. It is one of the oldest surviving books from the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Now, considering it is one of the oldest surviving books within the Americas, and there are only a few of these left, this one in particular was found in the city of Dresden in Germany. It was purchased from a merchant in Vienna, and we actually believe it ended up in Europe when the then governor of Mexico, Hernan Cortez, sent it as a gift to the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V in 1519. The Codex contains a broad range of information from astrology, astronomy, agriculture, and medicine, religion, and information on the Mayan gods. It even depicts sacrifices made to these gods. You see, the Codex revolves around a 260-day ritual calendar known as a Zolkin. What would happen is a priest would pick a day or a time, and it would prophesize what would be occurring on that day, on that time. It could relate to the harvest, it could relate to marriage, it could even relate to a sacrifice. It is made from amate. Amate is a type of bark paper that comes from the amate tree. You see, the bark itself is stripped, beaten, dried, and stretched. This type of paper was used as many forms of written expression and art. We haven't quite deciphered the Codex in its entirety yet. However, we have come bloody close. This is mainly due to the multiple researchers over decades, hundreds of years, slowly chipping away at the fog of a dead language. It all starts with Diego de Landa, a Spanish inquisitor from 1566. Now you see, de Landa had a bit of a reputation for burning ancient texts under the wrongful belief that they contained superstitions and devilish lies. That being said, de Landa did attempt to decipher these texts. He tried to draw a line between the Spanish alphabet and the Mayan glyphs, and he did this with the assistance of local scribes. This was never completed. We are now in 1832, with Constantine Samuel Rafinesque Schmaltz. Olme realized that the dots and bars within the Codex correlate to numerals, and he found this out by comparing glyphs from the Codex to inscriptions found in Guatemala and the Yucatan. The years following was much of the same. We found out little bits and bobs. However, we did not have a major breakthrough until 1952. Here, we introduce Yuri Valentinovich Notasov. He built upon de Landa's work, claiming that the Mayan language was logosyllabic, meaning its written system has symbols that represent both words and syllables, sort of how an emoji can represent an entirely different word. David Stewart in 1981 continued Notasov's work. He discovered that multiple glyphs can all mean the same thing. This led to a deeper understanding of the Mayan language. Look, overall, we are quite close to a total understanding of the Codex, and I am certain we will get there one day. Okay, so we've gotten some context on the Codex, the who's, the what's, the when's, the where's, the how's. Now before we proceed, gentlemen, I do not exaggerate when I say this. I was at 6, but now I'm at 12. What I'm about to show you are extracts from the Dresden Codex itself. We'll be breaking down certain pages and understanding what was written on these pages so many years ago. Okay, what we are looking at now is page 3 of the Codex. On the right, we have a scan of the Codex as is, and on the left we have a refurbished version. Now if you have a look here, what we have depicts a sacrifice. Our hero Jonah Jaw is the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. We see his belly open and a tree sprouting out, with a bird perched upon it. We see the bird holding his eyeball, and you can see right there his hands and feet are bound. At each corner of the page we see what is believed to be gods. Some claim these gods could be associated with agriculture, with the top right being the storm god, and the left possibly being the rain god. Apparently Jonah Jaw was sacrificed with his twin brother Yax Balam for the resurrection of the dead father. It is a rather macabre depiction, but nonetheless fascinating. Now would you have a look at this? What we are looking at here is a prophecy for a war. We see these figures in battle. You got two fellas holding weapons. There's a dead sheep below. Now further down, you see the victor of the battle. The bloke on the right-hand side is bound with another fella with a headgear over him. We also see what may be a slave, holding up the fella on the right. Now considering the Codex is a book of predictions and prophecies, small to large, this could very well be a future battle. Dr. Ernst Fosterman has a different perspective. He believes this battle was between planets and stars represented as gods. They believe the sun is defending himself against the moon on the right, where at the bottom we see Venus besting Mercury, with the snake representing the time between them. Likewise, we also see Jupiter that has bested Saturn. This may be my favorite page from the Codex. It is a prophecy for the end of the world, a great flood. You see this, that's a sky croc. It has water screaming out of its mouth. And just below the sky croc we see the goddess Ixchel, also known as Chak-Chel, pouring water from a vessel. Below that we see the ruler of the underworld. Forsterman similarly believed this page denoted nothing but the end of the world. It is rather grim. I do wonder, how did they come up with these prophecies? It is bizarre how this book has transcended millennia, through the hands of continents, through the hands of scholars, and yet we do not still understand all of it. It makes you wonder how much truth lies in these prophecies. Will they eventually come true? I suppose one day we will find out. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.